is indeed right now, to be exact, 5:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today we're unpacking the national budget package just passed in the House, dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill. Big for sure, but beautiful, I don't think. Not if you're struggling to put food on the table, care for a loved one, or pay your medical bills. The bill doubles down on tax giveaways to the wealthy, slashes Medicaid and SNAP, and imposes new work requirements with little support. I'm Pavio G. Let's get clear on who stands to benefit, who's hurt, and what you can do now. Medicaid cuts equal to $793 billion cut over 10 years. 10 to 11 million lose coverage. That could be you listening right now. Reduce funding for states and gender affirming care. What happens with SNAP if you get any type of SNAP benefits, food stamps, stricter work rule force, single parents into 80 hours a month. That means more hunger. Again, listen, if you get SNAP benefits or anything of that sort, stricter work rules force single parents, it's going to force single parents into 80 hours a month. Okay? How are you going to work 80 hours a month when you have kids at home to take care of? And then if you go to work, how are you going to pay babysitter money? All of these things are affected. Medicaid, when you can't work the amount of hours that they want, that means you won't have health coverage. When you get sick and you have to run to the emergency room, that means that they will no longer care for you if they know that they're not going to get paid. What happens to your local hospitals and your local urgent cares? Well, they close down because they depend on Medicare and Medicaid in order for them to make their money. So when they close down, that means our health is at risk. How is our health at risk? Because we no longer have the professionals in the places that we need the most in order to take care of us. Very, very important. So tax changes. The wealthiest people get windfall. The top 0.1%, they gain, right? 300,000, 400,000 annually. And the poorest, we lose $1,600 a year. So think about that. The wealthiest people, as they get wealthier and this big, beautiful bill tears down our health. Why? Because a lot of us are not going to be able to work 80 hours a week in order to meet, or 80 hours per month in order to meet their standard requirements. A lot of mothers. Okay. And so when that happens again, the health becomes poor because the nurses and doctors no longer want to go to work for free because they have nobody supporting them. There's no Medicaid, no Medicare. And so they get shut down. Those urgent cares, those hospitals are going to be shut down little by little. You think it doesn't affect you personally until it hits home and you have to run to the emergency room and they tell you, no, ma'am, you no longer have Medicaid or Medicare coverage. We cannot service you here. And if we service you here, you have to put down $100 towards your bill because your bill is going to be about $30,000 in order to replace your kidney or maybe give you a C-section or maybe fix a broken leg or something to that sort. A lot of people don't think of those things until it affects home. Well, now it's affecting home. Tax changes again. The wealthiest get windfall. The top 0.1%, they gain $300,000 to $400,000 annually. Think about what a poor person would do with $300,000 if you just gave it to us for 2 years. Think about that. But they get that annually. And I don't care how much they push out, is because they choose to push out. Let me tell you guys something. There's one thing about the wealthy that I can say that poor people don't have. It's not only just money. They have a lot of dang unauthorized character. Because a lot of times they are more worried about their nice name brand sofa and nothing spilling on their cashmere carpet versus somebody getting medical care. And so because their friends are not the poor girl around the corner, okay, or the girl living in a trailer park, because that's not their friend, they have no concern to that person losing out. But that trailer person or that girl that lives in the trailer house or that girl who lives in the apartment or that middle class family who lives around the corner and both people work, but they barely make $70,000 a year. I got a lot of tax clients like that. They barely make $70,000 a year. I wonder how they're going to survive. And their rent and everything else is not lowering. It's just getting higher. I'm talking about folks that live in Maryland, Virginia, DC areas, any places in the north and any place in the south right now. Everything is expensive. So please make no mistake that his big, beautiful bill, Mr. Yellow Man, will devastate millions and millions of families around the country and will cause many deaths to many families, unfortunately. Deficit spike. What else does this do? It adds 2.4 to $3.8 trillion in debt. Now, a lot of us don't know what that means. A lot of us are not in that business to be worrying about trillions because we would never see even a million to even worry about a trillion. But just so you know, that'll be $1 trillion in debt. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter the number. Any more debt that this country has is the less money that they share for the people, the same ones like us, that we pay taxes into the system to then them turn around and say that we're going to keep the profits, we're going to keep the money, and we're going to give you no health care in turn. Trump claims savings, but CBO says otherwise. Other cuts, they limit public land. They remove clean energy tax credits. It restricts immigration benefit access. It has a lot of things that will restrict you and I and many other people. So here's the deal. Why does this matter on the home front? Well, number one, there's fewer benefits and more hardship. Millions lose access to health care and food aid. Veterans, single parents, and elderly are hit the hardest. Middle class stagnation. Tax cuts mainly benefit the top. Most families see little to no relief. Ballooning debt, bigger deficits today could mean inflation, higher interest rates, and fewer service tomorrow. So I have a porch question for you all this evening. Does this bill help your household or leave you worse off? It's a very good question now. I'm sure a lot of people will want to know your answer. Don't be afraid to answer now. Be honest. Will this and does this bill help your household or leave you worse off? Please comment and let us know what's on your mind. That's today's evening front porch breakdown. This giant bill may look shiny, but the shine fades fast. I'm Pavi OG. If this hit home, share your voice. Subscribe for daily clarity and real life advice. Rule of thumb, besides the mosquitoes. When they call it beautiful, check whose pockets are gleaming and whose are empty. Just as simple as that. Until next time, keep your heart open, your pantry stocked, and your spirit loud. Hi, Shamar Vience. Welcome. Welcome to the program. I appreciate you being here. Continue to watch and subscribe if you can. I appreciate you all being here. You have a beautiful afternoon.